The morning of the fifth and final day of the LIGO International Physics and Astronomy program consisted of workshops on multi-messenger astronomy and gravitational wave signals and localizing, as well as a presentation from the head of the LIGO Hanford Observatory, Dr. Landry. Landry is also the Executive Director of the Cosmic Explorer. The Cosmic Explorer is a planned next-generation, ground-based gravitational wave observatory concept in the USA. It's designed with massive L-shaped laser interferometers featuring arms up to 40 kilometers long. It aims to be 10 times more sensitive than the current facility at LIGO. During the afternoon session, a discussion upon your ideal classroom was undertaken, as well as a Q&A session on instrumentation at LIGO. To round off the day, there was a workshop on multi-wavelength matching and a discussion upon implementing what we've learned.
I'm Mike Landry. I'm the head of LIGO Hanford Observatory, and I'm the Executive Director for Cosmic Explorer, a future 40-kilometer third-generation gravitational wave observatory in the United States. So we have two gravitational wave detectors to act something like ears on the universe. Gravitational waves aren't sound, but they're an observable that acts quite a bit like sound in that coherent motions of matter, neutron stars revolving around each other, spinning neutron stars, exploding stars in supernova. They give off a shudder in space and time that propagates through the universe to our detectors. And so it's incredibly useful to have, for a really weak signal at some arbitrary location in the sky, to have two L-shaped detectors to register the passage of this gravitational wave. The arm lengths change due to the passage of a gravitational wave. That should happen in LIGO Livingston Observatory, LIGO Hanford Observatory, our counterpart detectors in Virgo, in Cascina, Italy, ultimately Kagra in Japan, and LIGO India when that comes on board. And that allows you to detect more information about the signal. And in particular, the time of arrival at each detector allows you to triangulate where in the sky this wave came from. So today we presented on what's called Multi-Messenger Astronomy to our international physics and astronomy teachers, a group in from all over the world. Just a fantastic thing for us to have this great group of teachers in and talk about gravitational waves for a week. Multi-messenger astronomy is a kind of specialized application of gravitational waves in which we don't just witness the passage of a gravitational wave event from some object in the distant universe, but that if it's the kind of event that can be seen through other means, electromagnetic means, telescopes, gamma ray telescopes, visible light telescopes, radio wave telescopes, everything in between, possibly even with neutrinos at some point. That just increases the amount of information you have about an object. So whereas black holes don't give off light as far as we know when they merge together, and if they have a torus of material, they could go off gravitational waves and light. But we haven't witnessed that with follow-up of our events in the past. But in the case of neutron stars, when they smash together, everyone expects all kinds of light to come off from that. And so we went through this GW 1708-17 astonishing event in August of 2017, in which the arrival of gravitational waves heralded this merger of two neutron stars. We saw about 100-second loud signal of neutron stars merging together, and nearly coincident with the merger, the Fermi Gamma Ray Telescope run by NASA saw gamma rays from that event. And so that sort of integral, a European gamma ray detector. And so that marked this merger of two neutron stars, gravitational waves, and high-energy gamma rays. And then when we handed off sky coordinates, Virgo and LIGO handed off sky coordinates to our partner astronomers. About 200 instruments were trained on that region of the sky. And it was seen in optical light, it was seen in ultraviolet, infrared, X-rays, and radio waves. So it was seen across the electromagnetic spectrum, and huge amounts of science were learned because of it.